Hi and welcome. My name is Lara. I've been working with kaleidoscopes for a number of years, and I've been training people how to experience and benefit most from the healing properties while working with light. And recently I started up a YouTube channel, and I thought, well, what better time than now to actually start sharing this information. There is a book coming, but not at the moment. So I thought, to get the information out, I'd actually start sharing some of the findings that I'm feeling really relevant to the time and now that we're in. I don't know if any of you are following a lot of the predictions or the prophecies that are coming out right now. And there is really a lot that each of us have to take in, because there's this feeling inside of us that's pulling us towards greater understanding. Like there's this pull that we need to know, and we need to know for a very specific reason. The most important thing about this is that the only answer is actually going to come from within us, because each of us are on an individual journey. So we can have lots of different aspects and lots of different points of view, but the most important one is to realize, what is your heart saying? What is your center saying? And that's the underlying message of what kaleidoscopes bring. Kaleidoscopes bring a mental attitude of oneness, of completeness, because it realizes that out of the chaos, which is the kaleidoscope image of this random bits of glass and pieces that just tumble and turn at will, there's almost like a shadow opposite that's playing out in our lives, that even though we feel we're in control, all the pieces are fitting together perfectly. So even when there is a feeling of being in control or out of control, we know that there's a higher good that we're all working towards. And this is a feeling I'd like to share with you, is actually how to embody the healing energies of light while working with color. So we have the 7 different colors. Now the nice thing to understand about these color rays is they actually are not only messengers, but they're also nourishers. So their message that they bring is both a physical manifestation of nourishment to the body, and there is a mental attitude or a prescribed way of being that carries on with these colors. Now those of you that have actually studied color therapy or have studied the attitudes and physiological aspects to color will get a greater understanding of what I'm trying to say. This is a very detailed topic to get into, but if you find a good color therapy teacher, it always helps, because to get the fundamentals of what color is, you begin to understand how it works. Color is the most profound and most liberating healer one can have in one's life. We all think of color, and we think of painting our walls a certain color or wearing certain colors on our body. And that is because we have a natural affinity. We are drawn to colors because color resonates with us on a deep principle, because we are made of it. Every single aspect of our being consists of those various 7 colors, those rays of colors, those invisible rays of colors also. What I propose around color is this: that those colors, or these colors that exist everywhere and that are all around us all the time, need a decoder. They need some form of mechanism or intervention for us to actually understand and interpret it. Just as we look at our hand and we simply see our palm, but yet if you use a magnifying glass you can see your fingerprint. And if you condense that magnifying glass even more, you can actually look right through. X-rays can go into the bone and tell you what's inside. The same way you need a decoder, which is what a kaleidoscope is, to decode that fragment or message of light. Imagine that every single color is bringing you a story. And now what you're having is it's telling you the story of this imagery that we are perceiving as reality. And at some point, your brain obviously has to take that in and decipher it and link onto different aspects of your mental attitude or your mind frame or your neurons or your synapses and actually piece together this reality we're in. Now, in this reality, that's fine. Your brain's purpose is to help you be able to function in this reality. But the codes of color, this encoding that happens with the kaleidoscope, I personally feel is an encoder for your soul. There has to be a way that your soul can communicate. And one of the most well-known principles of what really stirs and activates the soul is beauty. Any place that has a sense of magnificence and beauty, your soul responds to. If you take, for example, the first time you stood at the edge of a mountain top and had a look down and looked into either the ocean or the forest, or had a sense of awe while watching a sunrise or a sunset, that will give you an idea of literally something beautiful external from us being touched by our soul and our soul feeling that beauty. Now, kaleidoscopes mean to view beautiful forms. So one of the beautiful things that it does is it helps encode or decode the encoded message in light, specifically targeted to you. Now you can say that that's a long shot. Well, working with kaleidoscopes for over 20 years, mostly on weekends, and sharing this kaleidoscope the way that they are received by millions of people, has exactly the same effect. And think for yourself the first time you look through a kaleidoscope. So the first thing that you do is you put it to your eye and watch your first response. Wow, there's a sense of wonder. That sense of wonder hasn't triggered so much your logical brain, because your logical brain is trying to analyze. It's trying to see how many angles, how many colors, how does that all fit together, how is this possible? That awe and wonder, that spontaneous wow, and that laughter is actually a soul recognition. And that's the first clue that I wanted to share with you.